Testing, testing, testing. Welcome back to Z Something Awesome, Katawa Shoujo. And it's gonna be a little quick Z Something Awesome. And a friend of mine, Carl Man, and Timothy, my friend, we're totally play this. And basically, it's a nice dating sim, but we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty later. A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wind chimes. This is a popular retreat for couples in the summer. The deciduous trees provide a beautiful green canopy far out of sight to teachers and fellow students. But now, in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. I breathe into my cupped hands and rub them together fiercely to prevent them from numbing in this cold. Hisao, huh? Just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4 p.m. Ah yes, the note. Slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. As far as cliches go, I'm more of a fan in the letter in the locker, but at least this way it shows a bit more initiative. As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens. The snowflakes silently falling from the white painted sky are the only sign of time passing in this stagnant world. The slow descent upon the frozen forest makes it seem like time has slowed to a crawl. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood. Someone is approaching me from behind. Hi, Hisao, you came? A hesitant but audible question. Barely audible question. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly. I feel my heart skip a beat. It's a voice I've listened to hundreds of times, but never as more than in eavesdropping to a conversation. I turn to face this voice, the voice of my dreams, and my heart begins to race. Look at him! He's got an alien hair. Iwanako? I got a note telling me to wait here. It was yours? Damn it. I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line, and that was the best result? Pathetic. Yes. I asked a friend to give you that note, and I'm so glad you got it. A shy, joyous smile that makes me so tense, I couldn't move a single muscle, even if I tried. What was that? Oh, my heart is pounding now, as if we're trying to burst out of my chest and claim this girl for itself. Here we are, out in the cold. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches. The cacophonies in my nose. The cacophony. Such big words! The cacophonous noise is music to my ears. Iwanako flinches ever so softly against the gust of wind. Iwanako. As it passes, she rights herself, as if supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine, as she lazily twirls her long dark hair around her finger. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. My throat is tight. I doubt I could even force a word out, even if I tried. You see, I wanted to know if you'd go out with me. I stand there, motionless, save for my pounding heart. I want to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched up beyond the breaking point. Hisao? I reached up, trying to massage my throat, but the only sent spikes of blinding pain along my arms. Hisao? My whole body freezes, save for my eyes, which shoot open in terror. Hisao! The beating in my chest suddenly stops, and I go weak at the knees. The world in the canopy of bird branches, dull with the sky. Iwanako running towards me, all these fade to black. The last thing I remember before slipping away are the sounds of Iwanako screaming for help, and the incessant clatter of the branches above. Fort Lee Studio presents Katawa Shoujo. Inspiration Right. Writing. Anonymous 22. Ura. Simply cross circle to something. Editing. Kamigawa. Kagami. Lacerot. Someone else. Art. Ambi. Kamafish. Pimi. Gabe something. Gabby something. Art. Morki. Rames. And Raid. Additional art. Climactic. Doomfest. Yojovi. Gujovi. Music. Blue 123. Nicole Armafi. Directing. Delta. Yojovi. Engineering by Delta. Scenario design by Ara, whatever, something. Production by CBL Crud and Zuriko. It's been 4 months since my heart attack. And the whole time I can probably count the times I've left this hospital room and survives on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts, so I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. That word, arrhythmia. A strange word, a foreign, alien one that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition. It causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat away too fast. It can be fatal. Apparently, I've had it for a long time. They said it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. Is it really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. It really didn't do anything to cheer me up. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I had already had a full day to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even prepared to sell our house in order to pay for our cure. Of course, there isn't a cure. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, I felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled and all the get-well gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after. I realized that the only reason I had gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me their sympathy had been turned into a class project. Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first month, only my parents came on a regular basis. Awakano was the last to stop really visiting. Awanako. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyway. We didn't touch the subject that was between us on that snowy day ever again. The hospital? It's not really a place I like to live in. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they're in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them. But it makes me feel uncomfortable. For the first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but he told me to wait and see if the treatment and surgeries worked. So, I'd already observed the scar those surgeries had left in my chest slowly changed its appearance over time. Think of it as some kind of omen. I still asked the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough now that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answers shows more that there is at least some hope. At some point, I stopped watching TV. I don't know why, I just did. Maybe it's the wrong kind of escapism for my situation. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital, although it was more like a storeroom for books. I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. I found that I like reading. I think even becoming a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hands. But I loved the stories. That was my life. That was what my life was like. The days became increasingly harder to distinguish from each other, differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. It seemed like time blurred into some kind of gooey mass I was trapped inside, instead of moving within. A week would go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I'd pain by causing realization that I didn't know what day of the week it was. but other times, the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness through the barrier of nonchalance that I had set up for myself. The pages of my book would start to feel sharp, burning hot, and the heaviness in my chest would become hard to bear, that I could not put the book aside and just lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that happened, only rarely, and I couldn't even cry. Today the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he's trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I last seen them, both of them on even sort of dressed up. Is this supposed to be some kind of special occasion? It's not like it's a party. There is a ritual that the head cardiologist has. He takes his time, sorting his paper, then sitting down beside us is to make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. Then he casually sits on the edge of the bed next to mine. He looks at me in the eyes for a moment. Hello, Dr. Hisao. How are you today? Hello, Hisao. Sorry. I don't answer him, but I smile a little, back at him. I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with some precautions, you should be fine. We all have your medication sorted out. I'll give your father the prescription. The doctor hands a sheet of paper to my dad. His expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly. So many. I take it from his hands and take a look at myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this? The absurdity of medication staring and begging for the paper seems insurmountable. They all blend together in a sea of letters. This is insane! Side effects, adverse effects, contradictions, and dosages are listed line after line with cold precision. I try to read them, but it's so futile. I can't understand any of it. Attempting only makes you feel sicker. All this for the rest of my life? Every day? I'm afraid that's the best we can do at this point. However, new medications are always being developed, so it wouldn't be a surprise to see about this fade over the years. Years. What kind of communist booster is that? I felt better if he hadn't said anything at all. Also, I've spoken with your parents, and we believe that it would be best if you don't return to your old school. What? Please, calm down, Hisao. Listen to what the doctor has to say. We sound the same. Calm down? The way he says something as if he knew full well that I wouldn't like it. I'm going to be homeschooled? Whatever my concern shows, it's ignored. We all understand that your education is paramount. However, I don't think that it's wise for you to be without supervision. At least not until we're sure that your medication is suitable. So I've spoken to your parents about a transfer. It's a school called Yamaku Academy that specializes in dealing with disabled students. Disabled? What? Am I? It has a 24-hour nursing staff and only a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. The majority of students live on this campus. Think of it as a boarding school. It's designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby. Independence? It's a school for disabled kids. Don't try to disguise that fact. If it was really that free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and you wouldn't make a hospital being a nearby selling point. Of course, that's only if you want to go, but your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and had a look a couple weeks back. I think you like it. Looks like I really don't have a choice. Compared to the other heart-balance people, with your condition, you normally tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education. This is an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamned opportunity. Well, you should be excited at the chance to go back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school, and while it's not the same one, a special school, that's an insult. That is what I have to say. It's a step down. It's not what you think. All the students here are pretty active in their own sort of way. It's geared towards students that can still get around and learn, but just need a little help in one way or another. Your father's right. We sound the same, and many other graduates from the school have gotten to do amazing things. A person doesn't tend to be held back by their disability. One of my colleagues in another hospital is a graduate. I don't care. A person doesn't need to be held back by their disability. That's what a disability is. I really hate that something this important was decided for me. But what can I do about it? A normal life is out of the question now. It's funny. I always thought my life was actually kind of boring, but now I miss it. I want to protest. I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. I could easily yell out something now. Something about how I can't go back to school anyway. But, no. I don't say anything. The fact is I know now, it's futile. I look around the room, feeling very tired of all this. The hospital, the doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that would make me feel any different. There really isn't a choice. I know this, but the thought of going to disabled school? What are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. But let me try. A clean slate isn't a bad thing. That's all I can think about to get me through this. At least I still have something, even if it's a special school. It's something. It's a fresh start, and my life isn't over. It would be a mistake to just resign myself to thinking that. And at the very least, I'll try to see what my new life will look like. And thus, Act 1. Life Expectancy. Katawa Shoujo, folks. I'll see you guys next time. If I can save this game somehow. Can I save? Can I save? Oh god, please, let me... Oh, I'm cutting it here. Whatever. I'll see you guys next time.